Thank you for joining the webinar. We're going to give everybody another minute to join and then we'll start. Hello everyone and welcome to our Uptrends User Community Tech Update. My name is Denis and I'm going to be your host today. So we're going to spend the next 25 minutes together and we've got an interesting topic for you today. JP will take us through a journey inside and outside your firewall. How can you use Uptrends to monitor applications that are used by your colleagues, including SaaS applications? Then Stefan will share best practices to make the most effective use of Uptrends in your day-to-day activities. And finally, Scott will show us how to get mission-critical services up and running again in no time with business service monitoring. So let's dive into it. JP, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for that intro. So, hi everyone, I'm JP, and my topic for today is synthetic monitoring inside the firewall. And to build up towards that, let's first quickly look at what you're already getting out of Uptrends today. You're using the dense network of checkpoint locations worldwide for checking that your users get a good experience on websites and web apps, to have early detection of issues to minimize any impact when there are problems. And you do that by measuring from locations close to where your users actually are. So anywhere in the world, but really getting a local perspective on behalf of your customers. That's what you care about. Now, that's about what's happening on the public internet. But you also care about what's happening inside your company, at your offices and your people working from home. And the limitation we run into is that these public checkpoints can only see internet-facing sites and services. And obviously, they can't access anything that is located inside your network because naturally, your internal stuff is protected for a reason. But you still want to accomplish the same goals for people and processes inside your company. So, what are we really talking about? Your employees might be accessing business applications that run internally. Either you built them yourselves or they are third-party apps that you host. Or they could be SaaS applications actually running on the internet somewhere, but you care about what performance and availability you're getting as seen from your office locations, for example. The experience your employees are getting. So let's start tracking that from the inside. Put some private checkpoints in place, track availability, but also complete user journeys on those apps, self-hosted and SaaS. All with the convenience of operating both external and internal monitoring in the same account in Uptrends. You will track everything in one place without the need of operating yet another business app for your internal monitoring. So to summarize, private checkpoints will satisfy these use cases. You can monitor internal business apps, make sure they're up and working correctly. You can anticipate on any upcoming versions of your websites, apps, and APIs if you're developing and testing those in-house. And you can monitor SaaS applications from the point of view of your internal users, getting a grip on what's called digital employee experience. Now, one additional consideration: how safe and secure is this? Well, private checkpoints require no incoming ports or special rules in your firewall, so keep everything locked down as usual. The Uptrends software will run in isolated containers, so that should keep your IT ops team happy. And those containers can be scanned using scanning software prior to installation, so that should keep your security team happy as well. But how about the data where we collect during monitoring? Well, that monitoring data is pushed back to Uptrends Cloud. Uptrends is a SaaS solution after all. And your security team might be critical about data leaving your network, particularly if the data you work with internally is subject to policies and regulations. Now, here's what that data might look like. In this case, with some personal data that we captured from a web page, and an IP address of your internal web server, and a screenshot containing more personal data. And our view is protect those sensitive parts by filtering them out and just keep the useful but non-sensitive monitoring data. And here's what that looks like with sensitive bits taken out. So use our built-in data protection filters to say which data parts should be left out of the monitoring. So for example, screenshots, page content, and IP addresses, those can be marked as sensitive separately. And then that data will not be collected and will therefore not be sent to Uptrends Cloud. But the monitoring will still be meaningful. All monitoring capabilities still work. For example, you can still execute page content checks. And your performance and availability data can be collected without a problem, because that only consists of numeric data and therefore shouldn't have any sensitivity in it whatsoever. And all of this should still satisfy the intent of your data security policies. Now, in closing, for private locations in Uptrends, how can you get started? Well, go ahead and try it out today for free. In Uptrends, click on Private Locations, download the Uptrends Private Location software, install it on one or more machines that you own. The software will run using industry standard containerization technology. And you should be up and running in about 10 minutes to get your first monitoring results as seen from inside your network. And that was my very quick overview of private location.
Thank you, JP. So now with private checkpoints, you can deliver the same quality of service to your customers and to your colleagues. And it's very easy to set up, so don't hesitate to try it out. Now let's go into our next topic. Stefan, are you ready to share your productivity tips when using Uptrends?
Certainly. Thank you very much, Denis. Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in. My name is Stef Hagen. I'm the lead support engineer at ITRS Uptrends, and today I will be giving you a few tips, tricks, and feature highlights to help you get the most out of Uptrends. As existing Uptrends users, you may already be familiar with some of these things, but hopefully you'll hear something new and useful and helpful for you to make better use of the Uptrends product. There is much more to talk about. We have limited time, so I'll be discussing limited topics. So let's get going underway. I would like to start first with pointing out monitor templates, which are built-in functionality for the enterprise level accounts, allowing you to apply various settings to monitors or monitor groups in bulk to help you ease the administration of your account. For example, if you have a maintenance period that you need to set for a set of monitors because you have planned downtime coming up for maintenance on your backend, that will affect these monitors and you wish to avoid unnecessary alerts or impacts on your SLA, you can use a monitor template to configure the maintenance period once and then apply it to all the required monitors in one go. The top screenshot here shows application of a monitor template, for example, to apply a maintenance period or a checkpoint selection to all monitors in a group basic checks NA. You can find the monitor templates interface under account setup or by searching for the word monitor templates in the search bar in the left-hand menu. Secondly, error conditions are a powerful tool to add a little bit of extra oomph to your monitoring for free. By setting up error conditions, you are defining the situations under which a monitor should give an error and potentially send you or your operators alerts. For example, they can check that certain content does or does not appear on the page and return an error otherwise, or you can set load time thresholds to ensure that you meet your performance targets and alert you as soon as you don't. The available set of error conditions will vary for different monitor types. More advanced monitor types, like for example, the full page check, will allow you to do things like specify thresholds for the core web vitals it measures. You can see in the screenshot here, giving errors if Google's recommended values are exceeded, which may actually affect your page ranking. Another example, it also allows you to check the URLs for each individual element in your waterfall charts to verify that external elements like your Google Tag Manager or Uptrends RUM load correctly on your page. Or you can exclude them if you want certain like social media elements to not be present in your page and otherwise to give errors. Next up, the Alerting Insights overview, which is a standard hub dashboard in your account, available under Alerting in the menu. This oversight gives you a simple but complete overview of the alerting setup in your account. You can see basic stats like ongoing alerts, your message credit balance, and notably the alerting coverage. By clicking that little tile in the interface in the screenshot here, it's the little tile that says 5 out of 11 production monitors are covered by alerting. You get a detailed overview, also visible in the screenshot in the middle, of which monitors are currently covered by which alert definitions, and more importantly, which monitors are not yet covered by your alerting setup in the screenshot here marked in red. And it also shows you why a monitor may be inactive, or its alerting may be inactive, or it could be not tied to any of your alert definitions. All of this allows you to very easily verify that your alerting has been set up correctly without having to go through your alert definitions individually. And finally, I would like to give a quick shout out to our knowledge base, which is available under the Learn menu at the top of the uptrends.com homepage, as you can see here in the screenshot. Our knowledge base contains detailed technical information on virtually any Uptrends related topics and easy step-by-step guide to help you configure any aspect of your account. Options ranging from basic to advanced monitor configuration, all of your alerting settings, setting up specific permissions for your operators, adding a certificate to the vault to be used for authentication purposes. All of that is in the knowledge base and much more, you name it. We have extensive documentation available on each of the topics I've mentioned, and also, for example, about the whole private location story, the data protection stuff, all of that you heard from JP earlier. The knowledge base is freely available via uptrends.com to anybody at any point. There's no need to log in. You can view our documentation right away. You don't need an account. It's just out there for you. That's all we have time for now, but if you're looking for any additional information, feel free to visit our website or ask the support team. The support team is always available to help. Thank you, and back to you, Denis.
Thank you, Stefan. Loads of useful insights here. If, as a user of Uptrends, you'd like to get Stefan to address a specific topic in the next webinar, please submit your ideas by email. So you see the email address here, ccarlson@itrsgroup.com. And don't forget to have a look at our extensive knowledge base online. So now let's dive into the power of business service monitoring with Scott. You will remember that JP showed us how to identify if a business critical application is down with Uptrends. Now, Scott, can you explain how we get it up and running again as soon as possible?
Absolutely. Thanks, Denis. So once you know your business service is impacted, you need to dive under the hood to find the root cause of an issue, and so you can solve it as quickly as possible, get things up and running again. You need that extra level of detail of the underlying infrastructure behind your application, and that's really where business service monitoring comes in. Our goal when we were sort of building business service monitoring was this. It was imagine if you could immediately understand the business impact of any issue. With a quick glance, being able to see what business services are impacted or even offline, all driven from that combination of your digital experience monitoring alongside the infrastructure monitoring, provide that comprehensive picture across the entire IT estate. And with just a couple of clicks, you can actually drill down from that view to see exactly what caused the issue and what needs to get resolved to get that whole thing up and running again. This deep dive can even help prevent issues before your users are impacted. So for example, if you saw your load balancer was having issues, the business service may be up, but very soon there could be another issue which brings your service down completely. You need to get ahead of that and solve it before it becomes a problem. Ultimately, business service monitoring is about ensuring the right team is using that right tool and they're focused in the right place to minimize that business service disruption. You may have also heard about the watermelon effect, and just having a sort of a piece of the puzzle isn't enough. It's only when you've got that full picture that you can avoid situations where everything might look green in isolation in one dashboard. When you combine it, you can see the underlying issues, you can see that red, that are either causing or about to cause an issue. And that's obviously the business impact that we're aiming to mitigate. And we could provide all of this by combining Uptrends with another ITRS product called OpsView. OpsView is a hybrid infrastructure monitoring solution, which means it can monitor both on-premises and cloud-based infrastructure, no matter if that's public or private cloud, and it combines that into a single pane of glass. And it's also focused on providing more than just is something up, is infrastructure up or is it down, but gives you that granular detail that you really need to know to identify exactly what went wrong and where, such as a disk being full or CPU utilization hitting warning levels. It also includes some built-in automatic noise reduction, because it can understand the dependencies between these infrastructure hosts, so you can focus on the signal through the noise of alert storms that typically happen when an issue is occurring. By combining all of this within that business service monitoring, you can close the loop and move from understanding that there is an impact to drilling down and finding the root cause, ensuring the right team is focused on solving the issue, and then closing that loop and validating that the digital experience is back up and running again. Thanks. Over to you, Denis.
Thank you, Scott. So not only can you see if a business service is down, but you get all the insights necessary to get it up and running again in no time. Well, we are reaching the end of our webinar, and we hope that it was informative. At ITRS, we absolutely want to learn from you, our user community. So please don't hesitate to get in touch if you want to share your own story of how you use Uptrends, or if you have any question on how to set up your free trial for the private checkpoints. We are very much looking forward to having you again in our next tech update in the new year. And until then, thank you for using Uptrends and have a great rest of your day.